You want to color? You want to? Whoa!
Yeah, I don't
God.
nonsense. That's nonsense. Don't let him do it. Oh.
We're gonna have to do a little bit of a reset, I reckon.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, no biggie. Well, as we're here, we got week 3. Expert Hornets versus Coyotes. We got Hornets is a 1-1 team, and the Coyotes is 2-0. Hopefully, the Hornets hoping they can get a loss on the Coyotes record. With me today, I got KG. How are you doing today, KG?
I'm very excited to cast some Rocket League. I wish I could have done a little earlier, but unfortunately, this was the only time slot I was able to do, and I'm excited to do it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's gonna be hopefully an exciting match today.
Yeah,
And
we'll make it exciting.
we're gonna try to get added back into the lobby here. As we're
I backed out, just officially. Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties. You people who couldn't notice or didn't see, maybe.
somebody, you got a little premature start there, but no biggie. As we try to get everybody back into the lobby real quick and get
Love
started.
the excitement.
Hopefully, you can keep that energy on the field today.
Clock's still running.
All right, KG. So, what are you expecting out of this game today? What are you hoping that will happen?
I'm actually looking forward to seeing Hornets maybe put a loss on the Coyotes record. Not that I don't like seeing teams dominate or anything like that. It's just we'll call it the underdog thing. Although at the same time, since it's only a third week, I'm not sure if the underdog's quite the right word, but maybe that's what we'll do for now. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I've got a soft place in my heart for these Hornets team. As I've got some family pretty much on those teams, so we're hoping they can get a victory right here. I gotta say, but I'm gonna keep it fair, talking through this. I ain't gonna be one sided, but we'll see what happens.
Yes, I'm joining right now as well. I apologize for my little delay in words. Should be joining their correct lobby here in a moment. It would be nice to see what I'm casting here. Yes. I am officially in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting excited. Bearded, are you getting excited? I apologize for my lack of talking for that point. It was a little dead air time, but
Oh, it's no biggie. I'm trying to get this Hornets team situated real quick. Hold on just a second.
so then I will say I'll keep it going while you're doing that. I'll say, yeah, like I said, I'd like to see the Hornets win this, as put the Coyotes and prevent a 3-0 um, week 3, maybe even there'd be number 1, maybe possibly. Would that be how it would be if the Coyotes won? Probably number 1 in the league. I haven't checked the standings. Unfortunately, it's very unprofessional of me, but that's kind of what I'm going with. Now I'm looking in the chat though. We've got a "Let's Go Hornets" on there, so seems to me like I picked the right squad right now.
Absolutely, that is actually in the chat. That is an Origin Hornet player himself,
Ooh,
VRod44. So he's just here rooting on his team.
that's a good thing to have. Good thing to have. Get those people in there. Anybody in the chat who wants to root on for their team, please feel free. We got no problems.
Absolutely.
I do my best to try to interact with you guys, and good practice. So good job for the Let's Go Hornets, and thank you for making me feel good about my pick. And to any Coyotes fans out there, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just just trying to get everything underway, and I reckon we are about ready to go. I don't know who's all in here yet. We got Unsung, Memphis T. All right, I think we got everyone in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. So because we've done past a little bit of time, we're gonna try to get this started as quick as we can.
Whoops. All right, I'm definitely excited. I see Unsung in. I see Sunfuss and Dan in, and I think
Dan.
we're waiting for the 4th. We got
Okay,
them
he
in.
just joined, just in time, and finally, we are here for kickoff as Simpis gets a great kickoff, trying to get it past Unsung, but not quite able to get it to him. Nonsense going up, gets a pass down to the middle, but Unsung just not there in time as Dan tries to send it over the top. Unsung gets a touch and sends it back mid. Simpis hitting it up the wall, Unsung there to stop it, trying to get it past Dan, not able to happen. Simfish trying to get it found downfield. Unsung with the stop. Nonsense with the backup. Getting another touch. Getting a pass off the mid, but Unsung a little bit too far back as Simfish there for a carry. Nobody in the net for the Coyotes right there, but Nonsense able to get a good stop on that. Unsung passing it back down to Nonsense. Nonsense carrying it down, but Simfish able to send it back toward the Coyotes corner as Unsung is there to hit it back away from the net. Dan going up for another touch, but Nonsense meeting him up there. Simfish T going up for it. Gonna try to get a double touch, but Unsung, they're faster than him, able to get there before him. Hits it off the backboard, nobody back in net, and Unsung gets an early goal for the Coyotes.
Yeah, Senfus unfortunately just went flying from their zone and landed way too deep in, and that was a nice and easy play for Unsung to hit it off the back wall. Good read, good patience, and both teams, in my opinion, right now, that didn't feel that bad. They're still trying to feel each other out, so that didn't feel like a dominating minute and 10 seconds by the Coyotes. You know what I'm saying?
I have to completely agree with you as Simfish tries to get a pass over and just flies underneath it. Going up the wall, Nonsense hitting it towards the net, and that was Unsung trying to get a bump, but Simfish dodging them. Unsung in the net, gonna clear it back across over to Dan. Dan just out of place to be able to get a hit off that as Simfish sends it back to the corner. Unsung gets a nice shot down, but Simfish is there to save it and sends it back across the field. As Nonsense trying to get a carry, but Simfish putting on the pressure. Unsung sends it back across. Dan's waiting on it, doing a little Shadow defense sends it back towards the net. That was very close, but Dan actually able to save it, and Simfish just out of play right there, not quite able to get back in time.
Yeah, you can see it sort of meant to do that play, but definitely meant to put a little bit more mustard on it, hitting across the field. And you can see good read by Nonsense Nerd to get that in there. And that's actually kind of a tough play when there's somebody coming across. So got to give Nonsense Nerd a little bit of credit for that patience right there on that goal.
Absolutely. I was just about to say, he had a lot of patience waiting for Dan to see what he did for the ball. Dan, I guess he didn't quite get the touch that he wanted, and that ended up costing him another goal. As Dan sends it over to Simfish. Simfish almost gets a shot, but Nonsense just there to save it. Dan backing off. Should have pushed it as Unsung got a misread on that hit, but you know, Dan wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. As Unsung hits it off going to midfield. Simfish, the only one back, tries to go up for it and just gets low. A hard save to do and a valiant effort, but just came up short.
Yeah, it's just the same mistake, but reversed, where one was a little less aggressive and that time was a little too aggressive in the back end, and it just kind of led to the goal. So again, some mistakes, nothing terrible. The touches for each teams have seemed to be pretty equal. It's just one team is making a kind of aggressive mistakes as right there. That's going to be in. Good job by Dan to send that pass right into the breadbasket of Senfis.
Absolutely, Dan getting that speed aerial to get up to that ball before the Coyotes could, and getting a great touch off the wall, sending it mid and making an easy shot for Senfis to just finish tapping that in.
I see Dan trying to get across, and it's that right there is kind of the epitome of what a demo on the back end. I was gonna say that's
demo by no, you're good.
I just meant that that's kind of the epitome of what's been going down this particular game, is that the touches kind of seem to be going the Coyotes' way right now.
Absolutely, they're just winning a lot of these 50s, and Hornets just aren't quite able to make up for it. Like you said before, you know, it's the first time these teams playing each other. This first game is going to be a real just filler out game, and right now it looks like the Coyotes are just filling them out a little bit more than the Hornets are.
Yeah, just a little bit faster. That's all. Nothing crazy, and just taking advantage of some of them. Just a little bit better of some of the mistakes that the Hornets have been making so far.
Absolutely. When you get into this kind of level of gameplay, those little mistakes can, you know, as we can tell, are leading to goals. So you got to really be careful about what you do. Simfish stopped it in midfield for Dan to take advantage of it. Passes it over to Simfish, but Unsung with a great touch, sending it over to the corner. Dan trying to push it off the corner, but not having any boost to do anything with it, as Nonsense sends it back across the mid. Simfish gets the touch, but Nonsense hits it back off the wall, taking it mid. Dan trying to get a touch. Nonsense with a great double touch off the corner, but Unsung just not there to be able to do anything with it, as Dan flies up and kind of overshoots it a little bit. Ball's flying in the air. Simfish going for a touch and sends it to an open net. Nobody back for that. And the Hornets are closing the Coyotes' lead.
Nice job right there by the Hornets and keeping the fight up. I'm liking the fact that they're still in it, and not only that, there's plenty of time right here. I like that little the kickoff right there. Both teams had a little bit of strategy this time. A little bit of a miss from Senfis, but that's okay. Right now, I think the Hornets easily have a chance, and I think that their momentum is slightly on their side, as Dan just goes a little too far to the outside. Their team play has been really good, but I'd actually like to see them do a few more solo plays to try to open things up.
Man, and that was their chance. Dan just playing a little bit far back. I've noticed he's kind of not quite been there when he kind of needs to be, and Simfish tries to go up for a hard one and just misses it. Dan clears it over to the corner, trying to take a dribble downfield, trying to get it past the Simfish, gets it off the back wall, and a pass to Simfish, and Nonsense almost gets the save on it, but not quite enough pop to get it up off the crossbar, and Hornets closing the lead even more.
I love how he got the ball in his car. A nice controlled, very, very controlled effort too. Just got it on top of the car, good flick against the back wall, and that is a great team play. So as much as I wanted them to do some more solo plays, their team play has been absolutely on point so far, and if it keeps up, this is going to be dangerous for them.
Absolutely, and that's a big thing with these Hornets teams just in general is their team play, being able to play, having their chemistry, being able to play across
Mhm.
from each other as the time is dwindling down to
Ooh.
0 seconds. The ball looks like it may hit the ground, and it does as the Coyotes take it 4-3 in the first game of the series.
That was a good game right there. Massive fight from the Hornets. They were down 4-1, put up a big, huge, big, big, sorry, big effort, big comeback, but just couldn't quite complete it as the Coyotes were able to stifle them at the end. That being said, I am going to harp on it one more time. I love the team play, but I would love to see them do some solo plays that will open them up because they've been doing the team play so much that I don't think they're expected. And then when I just think the completion will be there. Keep going. Go ahead. Sorry.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
completely agree with you on that. The Hornets they just kind of need maybe just a tad faster. They're just, like I said, we're in that level where those little mistakes can cost you, and that's just what's been happening. And that's what happened with the Coyotes down there at the end, almost letting the Hornets get a comeback just for little mistakes being out of net.
Yes, and I loved how you mentioned that Dan. I think you're right. Dan played a little bit too far back. That most of that game needs to have a little bit more confidence that you can pick up those pads and make the plays you need. But other than that, I mean, this series, I'm going to say that after this game, we will really know how the rest of the series is going to go, especially if the Hornets keep up their good team play.
Absolutely, I think these Hornets may have a little bit of comeback in them in this one.
Hmm. Senfis is going to send this to there off the. Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
as we say it, the Hornets
Mm.
take an early lead, only 5 seconds in this game. Hopefully they can keep this up and get a nice little comeback and try to win this second game.
Yeah, that was a good read right there and a nice attempt by the defense, but really good read by Semphis as they're going to meet nonsense in the middle and both teams cheating. I love to see that and twos. Dan has a wide open net, doesn't go for it. Nonsense with a great defensive play right there. He stalled right there. I think that was a good move, but ended up being a good read by Nonsense. Good bump by Dan to get Nonsense away from the ball, and is not able to get it around Unsung Hero. That is to the opposite side. Senfis with a good, clear, good defense. And they're going to let Nonsense try to take over as Dan going to see if they can do anything with it. No, he goes the opposite side and gives it right to Senfis, who ends up sending it right back the opposite way. And Unsung Hero steals it in midair again. Missed by Dan
No.
off the wall. It's a misread. Hit off the wall by Unsung. That was
Miss
a
hit
wide open goal and a wide open opportunity.
that was absolutely unsung, not having any boost, doing a flip, trying to get there a little bit faster, just misjudging his distance and hitting it on the wrong side of the ball, and just he's wishing he had that one back.
Yes, and that can, if you, as long as you can forget about that one, that shouldn't be an issue. But if you let that linger a little too long, the confidence will drop, and we don't want that. A nice attempt by Senfis to Dan, and right there, both players on the Coyotes were able to stop it. Dan getting a good pinch, and that was a little bit of a dangerous play as Unsung trying to keep it back in, but Dan and meeting him and flipping him back around and getting him to actually dribble that ball. Semphis going up from a pass at Dan, and that one's going in. Nice play right there off the broken attempt on offense.
Absolutely, that was a great 50 by Dan or unsung. I'm not for sure what happened. It was a little bit of both to get that ball up there, and Memphis just read that one perfectly to get that one in there.
It was a good defensive play by and then turned into offense. So that was a great transition by the Hornets. Dan coming to meet Unsung is going to get the 50 win, but Nonsense there to stop it, going up with, but missing the second attempt. Dan trying to steal boost. I think they, I'm not sure if they ended up getting it. Dan going to hit that one again, a pass to Senfis. And Senfitz goes up wide left for that one. Another good attempt. Dan missing the putback and a great demo in the back end by Unsung. Going to give Nonsense a chance to do a flip reset. Senfis coming back from the demo and actually getting the save. So right now the Hornets are kind of on point, a little bit faster here than the Coyotes about halfway through this particular game.
Absolutely. Oh, and that was a dangerous miss, I think, by Dan up there, and that one costed them big time, missing that one off the back wall. I've seen a lot of those here in this third week of gameplay, is people just bare misses off that back wall, and it's costing them goals.
Those are the dangerous ones too, because usually those balls, oh no.
Oh, unfortunate by Stenfist with that missed kickoff right there.
Oh, those happen. Whoopsies. Yeah, those do happen. He landed funny and tried to overcompensate just a little too much, ties the game up. Well, nothing wrong with that. The momentum might have shifted into from the Hornets back to the middle, but that doesn't mean anything. Unsung's going to go hit this ball into the corner. That is an attempt, and double tried could have get it. Unfortunately, Dan has a wide open here.
Oh
Nobody's going to
no.
get there, and there we go. Right, things change really quickly in Rocket League, taking advantage of the mistakes.
Absolutely nonsense. Just barely getting a miss on that. And Dan being in the right place at the right time, able to just easily sneak that one in on him.
Yeah, and we do like those ones sometimes, especially when you're like, is he going to keep it or is he going to lose it en route? And unfortunately, fortunately, we're in a league that usually doesn't have to deal with that. Senfis meeting nonsense in the middle. The good 50 lands. Dan with a nice 50 again. Can he get the back end hit? Missing nonsense. Nonsense with a great job dodging that demo and or bump and getting a great save. So Nonsense has actually been doing a great job on the defensive end so far this game. Nonsense stopping it as well. Are they going to do that? A great job on offense? No, they can't get it. Hits the side post and goes away. Senfit's missing that clear. Nonsense getting it up. Is Dan going to clear it? Does. Unsung trying to stop it, missing that one. And this offensive opportunity stalls out for the Coyotes as the Dan trying to make a play on it. Senfit's getting the touch and does, and extends the lead to 4-2 with 1:47 to go in this game.
You saw that, KG, but Dan straight up stole that goal from Simpish right there, coming
I
off,
didn't see that.
coming off of the of the top of the goal. Oh my goodness, that was dirty.
I was not paying attention to that as Dan with a great 50, preventing a possible walk-in on goal or a flick. Dan getting it against the wall here, going to try to meet Nonsense. Good pass in. Can Nonsense get it away? Does, and is able to prevent another goal, giving the Coyotes a chance to stay in this ball game. That is a double commit for both teams. Dan able to catch that, but give it right to Nonsense, who 50s it to the opposite side. Senfis and Unsun meeting. Unsun winning that one. Nonsense going in. Can they beat Dan? They do. What? That was a chance at a pass, and that goes off to the side wall. So that attempt is not going to get in there. Dan turning, trying to beat Nonsense. Does get the save, and we have
Great
another attempt by Unsung. Senfis
Oh
with the
my
save and
goodness.
another attempt by the Coyotes, but the stifling defense by the Hornets is preventing them from getting in there again.
Absolutely, Ofra's in the fans, giving saves to everybody today. Is Memphis with a or Dance, excuse me, with a great pass to Memphis.
Oh
Hornets
my
are
goodness.
Hornets are showing up this game.
Yes, they are. And not only that, the team play has stayed in. And right there, that was a counterattack off a great attempt, actually, by the Coyotes. Just couldn't get really quality attempts on that goal. Senfis meeting and winning against Nonsense. Can't get the flick in. Dan trying to keep it in, but Nonsense going to take this over. Unsung trying to play the fullback. Senfis with a good stop, and Nonsense can't bully that one in. And that is another great defensive play by the Hornets, who have turned around and actually done a great job. Dan with an attempt on goal, punching that one forward, not to get it in, but their defense has been really, really actually on point this game. And I kind of think, other than obviously their offense has been doing good, but I kind of think their defense has really been the catalyst and the momentum swing.
For the Coyotes?
Yes,
for the
for the Hornets, yes.
For
Sorry.
the Hornets, yeah, absolutely. They have their defense have really saved a lot of goals this game, and their offensive, like like we was talking about earlier, just that chemistry of their passes, uh, just that mixture together. I mean, they just dominated that game, really.
It really was. That was a very good dominant performance. Coyotes had chances, opportunities, and they had a few of them. Not only did they have a good couple of rotational opportunities in that particular game, they had a few one-on-one 1v2 or 2v1 opportunities where Senfis was able to stop and get a good save, and Dan was able to do that as well. And the Coyotes just didn't have it this particular game, so Hornets were able to kind of meet them and tie this series up.
Absolutely, the Hornets just ended up playing a lot more aggressive that game, and it really came out and just kind of showed them what they was made of right there. And hopefully they can keep it up. Hopefully the Coyotes can figure something out to try to keep that from happening. But with both Hornets shooting 50%, it's going to be hard to do.
Yes. Don't get not to take anything from the Coyotes. They had 9 shots on goal compared to 10, so they weren't slacking off, but it was mostly nonsense. So I think what seems to happen need to happen is that nonsense and Unsung need to figure out a way to get nonsense the ball mostly and try to get Unsung to get it to them somehow because it seems that they are getting the quality shots, but just aren't getting maybe the rotations aren't coming in. Although again, I think it's just the Hornets being a little bit faster that game as opposed to the Coyotes offense just not able to get the quality touches.
I was just about to say they had a lot of good shots, but the Hornets were just there as Dan going up, trying to get a double touch, gets it off the back wall, going for another one and puts it right in. Bouncing up into the upper 90 right there, and the Hornets again get another early goal.
Oh, and they're starting it off right away. And this one wasn't a kickoff goal, wasn't a really nice beat to the ball. That one was just good old-fashioned aerials and single player gameplay, if you will, because they just needed to do it themselves.
And
Oh, no.
Simphis get another goal on them as they have the Coyotes a little bit out of rotation. Simphis being right in rotation and just being there. Nonsense just got beat to the ball there, and Unsung Hero after that kickoff not able to get back in time, and Simphis took advantage of it.
Yep, and there's the advantage, taking advantage of them at the right time, and that was a good quality, solid hit. And the demo in the back and Nonsense. It's a 2v1 here. What have we got? All Nonsense is back. Probably 33 boost. Good job by Unsung to get that defensive play, although it lands right in Dan's lap. A chance here. Bullying by Unsung, but Senfis able to get in front and get pinballed in. Wow.
Oh my goodness, let me tell you, these Coyotes are going to have to do something different after the Hornets have scored 3 goals in, 35 seconds. So they're really going to have to step something up.
Let's see what happens here. Unsung getting, I saw that coming a mile away and the chest hurts.
Another demo trying to flick it over Nonsense, but not happening. Dan trying to get a touch, Nonsense bumping him out of the way. Simphis with a great touch, sending it towards the side wall, gets a great pinch off of it, but Nonsense is back there to get a catch. Gonna try to do something with it as Dan pushes it and takes it off the top of his car, and Unsung Hero getting a miss. Ball going free rogue. Nobody was in net for a little bit, but they are back as Unsung sends it down. Nonsense trying to go for a hit, but Dan intercepting it before he can get there. Dan trying to get a pinch off the back. He didn't get it, and Simphis with an amazing save to kind of clean up his teammate's mess right there, as Dan wanted a harder pinch off of that to really send it across and ended up just centering it perfect for him. But Simphis with a great stop.
Yeah, that was a good heads up play. That's the teamwork that you were mentioning and that you were kind of like harping on, is that's something that is practiced, that you even that's trust in a weird sense of the word, where he let him go, let him come across the field, because I have always learned never go across your own goal with the ball. That's probably because I'm not good with it. Oh,
the bar down.
Oh.
Let me tell you, we said earlier the Hornets are going to have to play faster, and that is what they're doing, is they are beating the Coyotes to just about every ball that is just coming in between them.
Yes, way faster, and this game is definitely the first game I said the Coyotes didn't feel dominant. A lot of the balls kind of went their way. This one is a little bit of the Hornets balls going their way, and a lot of really quality touches and great gameplay and great teamwork.
That was a misread by the Coyotes, and the Hornets not able to take advantage of it as they get a good 50 off of the wall, just sending it straight in the net, knowing the Hornets back in time, which I wouldn't put that at any fault of their own. It was just an unlucky 50 off the wall, really.
I agree 100%. Those I'll take any day, though. Any day.
Absolutely, the Coyotes will take those any day. Is hopefully that'll give them a little bit more confidence in them, just to try to start making some faster plays. As I say that, Unsung beats Dan to the ball up into the air, but Simphis centers it back. I think Dan wanted to get a demo on that, but Unsung just wasn't having it. Dan 50 and Unsung. Simphis hitting it up high as Nonsense is going to take a hit. Send it over to Unsung. Unsung trying to get a shot. Sends it a little wide. Dan going to try to get a tap on it. He ends up carrying it actually and sends it off of the wall, but met by Unsung there, putting it out to Sitter. Unsung trying to get a bump, but Simphis blocking it and blocking the goal also as it goes down mid. Unsung going to be there to catch it as Dan meets him, sitting there and down mid too. And Simphis coming up and just undershoots the ball as it bumps off his tires and sends it to the sidewall as the Coyotes are trying to take it downfield, gets one flick up, but Simphis sends it over the top of Nonsense. Dan sends it to the corner, going to try to come off the wall, get a center,
Uh-oh.
and it looks like Unsung got another. The Coyotes got another lucky 50 off of that, and you know, like we said, we'll take those, and they will definitely take another one of them.
Any day of the week, especially when that was a little bit of aggressiveness by the Hornets right there. They have a little bit of wiggle room to be that type of aggressive, and that you can tell that was a lot of confidence instead of like a poor play. The decision wasn't very good, but at the same time, I know exactly why they did it. It's kind of like one of those put away goal opportunities that just didn't go in their way.
Nonsense getting not the quite touch you want, but Unsung there to save the day, getting it just over on the side of the net. Simphis takes a shot, and Unsung sends it off to the side as Nonsense sends it back towards the Hornet side of the field. Nonsense gets a touch that he didn't really want on that as one of the Hornets is close behind getting a touch. And Simphis hits it, sends it mid, but Dan playing a little bit too close on that, not able to do nothing with it. I think he may have backflipped there possibly, and Dan getting a touch off the wall. Unsung hitting him. Dan trying to 50 off of in the air, doesn't quite get it as Unsung demos Dan. Simphis out by himself right now as the Coyotes are, the Coyotes are playing a lot better in this second half of this ball game for sure.
Yes, they are, and that was a nice opportunity, a goal right there. And if they had, if they honestly, I know this is kind of stupid to say, but if they had kept this up in the beginning of the game, some of those goals would not have happened because they would have been in position and in correct position as the Hornets offense has been. Oh, nice touch by Simphis right there.
Simphis
has been on point.
Absolutely, Simphis' shots have been great. He just put that just in the right spot where Unsung couldn't quite get up to it, extending their lead to 3 goals now. And the Coyotes are really going to have to pull something out if they want to come back in this game. It is possible. I have seen it happen, but it is a miracle.
Yeah, so the Hornets would really have to just really crossbar down to get the chance. Great save. Man. I was going to say the Hornets would really have to break down hard to give up that much in 30 seconds. They do have a last-second goal.
They do, but it's not going to be enough as the Hornets take game number 3, putting them up 2-1 in the series. The Hornets just really came out to play that game. The Coyotes at the beginning didn't. They just didn't come out to how they did in game 1, really. And I don't think they really have came out since they have in game 1 in any of the games.
No,
but that half game, I think their defense really stepped up a lot.
Yes, the Hornets that game, I think that Simphis save kind of deflated the tires just enough to give the Hornets a little bit of momentum, and it just the Coyotes didn't fill it back up until a little too late. And 5-3 is not a bad score. They put up a big fight, but the shots weren't there this time. 14-4. They just did not keep up. It was Hornets. And not only that, the Hornets, a lot of their touches went towards the net, and that's dangerous. You have to be on the ball if you're the Coyotes, and when playing like that, it's really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the Coyotes have 6 saves on that, but I think most of them came within probably the last 2 minutes of the game, honestly. But the Hornets just putting shot after shot after shot on the goal. It's just an overwhelming presence for the Coyotes right now. Hopefully, right here they can step it up and hopefully tie up this series and take us into Game 5, which would be amazing.
Yes, as much as I said that I want the Hornets to, or I predict the Hornets to win, we want 5 games, and we want Game 5 overtime. So that's what I'm rooting for. Dan going up, try to flip reset off the ceiling, and is going to bully Unsung Hero so he can't touch the ball and get a good hit. And that's going to give Senfis a chance, who actually goes for goal a little bit, but Unsung Hero there for a nice, easy save. Trying for a pinch off the wall, does not get it. Dan getting it away, and now dribbling it up field and seeing what they've got for it. Going it off the wall, and nice hit, but good stop by Nonsense, and that has a chance to go in. Senfis with a good save off the back wall, needing that one, as that one was on target and ready to go in. Nonsense getting it taken away by Senfis into the corner. Dan trying to get it. Nice, good touch, missing the second touch, so Unsung is able to take control of this. Getting it to Nonsense, Dan meeting and winning, and so far Dan this game has been really fast, really bullying as he demos Unsung in the corner. Can Senfis get it around Nonsense? No, good defense by Nonsense, and now we have a somewhat of a 2v1, but Nonsense giving it right to Dan, and Dan able to save it. So in the in this game, both teams have actually gone back and forth as Senfis almost taking that pass and not getting it anywhere as it sits in the corner.
Absolutely, both the Hornets had a real advantage right there, as both of the Coyotes just took themselves out of play and not able to really capitalize on it. But good job by the Coyotes to just, you know, get back in time so the Hornets couldn't make a goal on them.
Ooh, oh my goodness, great pass, great save. Both teams right now are on point. Right, the misses have been not. Sorry, the misses have not been there. The touches have actually been pretty decently clean for what they were looking for. Good pass back by Dan to Senfis, and a 50 by Unsung right there. So yeah, these the IQ has stepped up there. I wouldn't say they're peaking, but they are definitely playing a lot faster, both teams, as Nonsense has a chance to get it on goal. Senfis there. Senfis not able to meet, and a good play by No Nonsense right there by him.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate miss by Senfis there, as Nonsense able to send that in. The Coyotes had definitely taken that energy from the second half of the last game and brought it to this game.
Yes, but that being said, the Hornets still have their energy, so it's going to be a good matchup this game, in my opinion. I don't see either team slowing down, really. And again, both teams are playing very well. Good shot on target. Unsung unable to get that one and read that one. And again, I feel like this is one of those keeping him honest shots.
Absolutely. That was, Senfis had a miss. Now Unsung's had a miss, taking it even now. As, you know, that was just unfortunate for both teams there.
Now with a halfway through the game, it's both teams playing pretty darn even. Senfis with a 50 on Nonsense. Unsung sort of going for goal. That is going to be a miss for Dan. Nice bump by Unsung in the back end. That's Nonsense right to Dan. Unfortunately, Dan with a good stop in the back post and preventing that shot by Nonsense. So the defense is there for both teams. Nonsense missing that one. Able to flick it upfield just enough to not be a center. Unsung blocking Dan's play right there. Missing the second touch, but go ahead.
Really going for those predicts right there. I ain't gonna lie, he's flying up for everything. Just like I said, he did it again.
He's definitely been doing it all game. Nonsense taking it from Dan. Senfis with a great save. Nobody was there to challenge him, so Senfis able to make a very, very nice touch and get it around Dan. Trying to make it. Is he going to go for a pass? And just a little too late as Nonsense able to read that one. Unsung and Nonsense in the same place. Nobody going for a ball, as I think Unsung was going for a demo. Somewhat of a back pass. Shot way wide, doesn't count, and Dan's going to try to take over as Nonsense looking for a demo but missing. Dan trying to get a flick, doesn't. Unsung with a good stop right there, clear to the opposite side. Can he read it? Cannot read it, goes to the opposite side, and both teams again starting to slow down a little bit, but also making some really, really good team plays.
Absolutely, this is just really just an amazing game. It's Senfis gets a shot over the top of Unsung Hero, I believe is who it was, maybe, or maybe it was Nonsense. Who was that?
It was
Nonsense. Yeah, just over the top of Nonsense. A hard one to save. As Senfis put some power on that at 71 miles per hour. Man, that was a great shot by Senfis.
Yes, it was. It was a great read by Senfis. That is another keep him honest shot, as that's going to go off the back wall. Senfis missing it, but Unsung Hero reading it correctly. So Senfis going from a really nice shot to unfortunately missing this one, as Unsung able to and tying it up.
Absolutely. Speaking of keep it honest shot, that is one of them. Is we are getting tied up with only a minute left to play in this game. This is gonna come down to the wire for this game.
Yes, Nonsense keeping it inside Hornet zone. Semphis looking like they're going to go to the opposite side. It's a good attempt. Unsung not able to get there as Dan and Nonsense are going to meet. Dan getting it around Nonsense has a chance right here. Good demo. We have another attempt. What a great job by Unsung to get that save and keep the score tied at 2 with under a minute to go. Nonsense getting into the corner. Can Dan stop it? Dan does. Can't get that second hit. Unsung getting it away. Semphis on target. No, it's going to go above. Nonsense hitting it and clearing it to the opposite side. So Dan looking to make a good touch and does, getting around Nonsense, but jumping off the wall and missing. Senfis moving up a little too far, but Unsung not there to get that with 30 seconds to go. Senfis looking to make a play. Unsung stopping that pass. Dan reading it, stopping that ball. Nonsense off the back wall. Nobody in the back, in goal. That's an awkward touch. Senfis can't get it, and that is taking the lead. The Coyotes have it 3-2 with 15 to go.
Oh my goodness. I'm going crazy right now, KG. I don't even know what to do. This is getting so freaking intense. The Coyotes are, both teams are playing so well right now. We have no clue what's going to happen. As Dan gets a fake right there.
Yes, and Senfis getting that touch just doesn't look like it. That was a good read by Unsung right there. 3-2. They have a chance here. Back wall. Nonsense reading that. Senfis gets it in the air still. Unsung hitting it back the opposite side, and it looks like the head ball's going to drop to the ground, and we have a tie series, ladies and gentlemen. Game 5 coming right up.
We are going into Game 5 as the Coyotes came out kicking on that one. Kept their velocity from that third game, the second half of that third game, brought it into this fourth game. Hornets, having the same energy also, but the Coyotes just got a couple more lucky touches and ended up coming back and and winning that one, taking it into Game 5. This is going to be a very, very interesting Game 5 as we see what is about to happen.
Yes, this is definitely going to be. I think the team that slows down first loses. That's it. Because I think
absolutely
both these teams need to keep up that particular aggression, especially if because you noticed how close this game was. Both teams in the first game had the same sort of a speed, and the game was close. And then the subsequent games, the Hornets way faster until the very end of the last games, and then this game they kept up the speed. So if the Coyotes meet, it's anybody's ball game. So that being said, the first team to slow down will lose this game.
Absolutely. I just wanted, speaking about, just stats on that game real quick. Both teams had 7 shots. The Coyotes had 5 saves and the Hornets had 4. I mean, very, very close stats when it comes to shots and saves. And, this can be a very, very interesting game as we go into Game 5 going underway. Semphis gets a not so good kickoff, and Nonsense trying to get an early goal and just hits it off the crossbar as it goes high. Semphis getting it past Unsung, gets a shot on there, but Nonsense almost gets the save on that as Semphis puts it just in the right spot into that upper 90. Nonsense not quite able to get there in time. That was very, very close. A great try, but just not quite able to get there as the Hornets take an early lead.
If the first 10 seconds are an indication of how this game is going to go, this is going to be a good game. Both teams are looking hungry.
Absolutely. As Dan trying to get a pass, it looked like down to Semphis, but not quite able to get it as Nonsense takes it, hits it off the sidewall, as Dan hits it, but Unsung sends it back, trying to get a pass over to Nonsense, not quite able to get it. Oh, and it's passed straight down to Nonsense. Nonsense sending it just a little high. Nobody was in goal. That was their time to tie it up. I'm sure they'll have plenty of times with 4 minutes still left to play in the game as Dan trying to get a center for Semphis, but Unsung was there, but Nonsense sends it over the top of him. That's kind of dangerous just in case that ball didn't go the way they was really wanting, as Semphis sends it back across the field. Unsung gets a miss, comes off the back wall. Semphis going up for it, but Dan went up for it also, getting a double commit. Nobody back for the Hornets. Luckily, Nonsense sends it a little wide as Dan sends it mid, but Semphis there to get a great touch off of it. It's 50 after 50 right now. Not really going one way as both teams are just fighting back and forth.
Yeah, this right here is the past minute and a half right here. Oh, we have a chance for Senfus. No, it turns off of that one instead as a little bit of a double commit, and Dan playing a little too far back. They had a chance right there to extend that lead, and instead a little not as aggressive. I understand why it's game 5. They're being a little smarter, a little bit more conservative in some of their play. Dan trying to make an attempt and can't. So yeah, I think that most of this is based on not that they're not trying to lose, but that they're being a little bit more conservative in how they play in game 5.
I think you're absolutely right. The second man back is not playing quite as aggressive as he has been. That's for sure. Oh my gosh, and that was a big chance for the Coyotes to get a goal. It just misses that shot on there, and Simfish takes advantage of it. Dan with a great save right there to just pop it straight over to Simfish to get that open net.
Yeah, that right there. See, this is what I mean. Like both, they are matching the speed. Now they're not getting the touches that they need. So I think that if the Hornets cannot slow down, as that's an attempt on goal. See, they're not slowing down. They're still sharp right now, as Nonsense can't get around. So that, like I said, the speed is there, and now you just got to make sure you get the touches and make sure you maybe calm down a little bit and have a little bit of patience when you do come up to the ball.
Absolutely, and I think those 2 goals are going to give the Hornets a little bit of confidence. I think as they keep trying to just push the ball down the field, as Dan gets it over the top of Nonsense. As I say that, gets a great touch over the top of Nonsense. Nonsense not able to get up in time, and Dan taking their lead to 3-0, 2:20 left to play in the game, as the Hornets are coming out hot in this first half of this game.
Yes, and the Coyotes really need to stifle the bleeding right here. They need a goal, and they need it kind of quick here because they can't let the Hornets have too much confidence. As Unsung just nipping that one. And,
Dan reading Unsung going up and almost getting it underneath him, but Unsung just able to rotate his car to save that one.
Yeah, no, this is where the Hornets are on point right now. The touches are going right for them again this game, even though the Coyotes are matching speed. Everything's kind of going right, and now the confidence is there.
Oh, Nonsense just getting back in time to save that. Another one from going in. That was very close for the Coyotes there to lose another goal. As Dan trying to send it. Stennard gets it underneath Unsung right there. Dan, one person to beat. Nonsense with a great save to prevent another goal, sending it down the field with 0 boost, goes mid. Simfis going up for a touch, and Unsung with a great stop there to prevent a shot as Dan sends it over to Simfis. Simfis sends it back over to Dan, but Dan just not quite ready yet. I think he may have been a little low on boost possibly, as Unsung trying to get a carry on there, but Simfis showing his power as he gets demoed. Dan getting payback on that as he's trying to get it past one. Simfis tries to get it over him, sends it a little wide, straight over to Unsung. As Unsung sends it down mid. Dan trying to get a stop on it. Nonsense going to take it up the wall. Simfis there to meet him, sends it back straight to the center, but Unsung there to send it over across as Nonsense sends it over the top of Dan. Sends it back mid. Simfis trying to get a hit on it. Unsung just beating him to it as Dan sitting in net. Unsung, man, his predictions on those hits are really what's helping the Coyotes right now.
Yes, Dan can't get that. Nonsense able to sneak that one by a little too Dan a little too aggressive getting into goal, and that sounds a little weird to say. Just didn't turn, instead tries to go backwards.
Absolutely, I was just about to say that.
Lost a little bit momentum, 3-1, and again, barring a breakdown, this is just the time is dwindling here. So I think the Coyotes really need a goal pretty much off of this attempt right here. They have to score.
Absolutely, I think you're right, but it's going to be hard as these Hornets teams are really stepping it up, and Nonsense trying to go for it and didn't quite get high enough on it to get a shot on there. As Dan, as it looks like he's going to take it down and try to get a pass to Thimpet. Thimpet playing very passive right there as he's waiting for the ball, knowing there ain't a lot of time. All he's got to do is let the ball dwindle, or let the time dwindle down, as that's what's going to happen as the Hornets are going to take the game number 5, winning 3-2 in this series. It was a great fought match as the ball still up in the air. Thimpet's going to keep it up for him. Good sportsmanship by him as it's still up in the air. Dan trying to get it cut, doesn't quite get it, and that is going to end it for season or for season three. For week three, the Coyotes taking that loss in the record as they are now 2-1, as well as the Hornets. It's a great fought series by both teams there.
Yes, I think the catalyst, in my opinion, was Dan. They kind of set the tone after the first game on speed and how they wanted the games to go. And if you notice, they picked it up and they kept going, they kept going, they kept going. They just kind of stayed really fast, and they throughout the rest of the games. And I think that that sort of was the catalyst. Even though I'm not taking anything from Senfis, I just think that everybody fed off of what Dan was doing that particular game.
Absolutely, and I'm sure here in a minute we will get them in here for a
I am.
post-game interview. Oh, as I say that they are in here, congratulations to this Hornets team. You know, how do y'all think y'all did in that game or that series?
Oh, I think we did pretty good. I think both games we lost, I think it was kind of our fault. We made a lot of like little mistakes, but the other three games, I just felt like me and Dan was really on point. I had good old buddy Jake on the Origin Hornets, kind of lifted me up a little bit. I got bearded. The caster sitting right beside me, listening to him the whole time.
We,
That makes a difference.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I could tell that after that first game that y'all really stepped it up, and y'all turned on that heat and y'all just never turned it off. It was just unrelentless, just as a pack of hornets do. They sting you till you're dead, and that's ended up what had happened. KG, you got any questions for him?
I do, Dan. It seemed to me that you kind of were the reason that everybody sped up. Was that a conscious decision, or is that kind of how the games kind of flowed for you?
So that was actually a conscience. I can't even talk. It was I made it happen because the first game I definitely wanted to play more passively, just to see what am I going to be dealing with series, because I'm actually new to the league, so I don't know anybody.
Mm.
So then the next game I was like, yo, I'm gonna go aggressive, and then next thing you know, we get a kickoff goal, and then it kind of just goes downhill for the Coyotes. So
Mhm.
I definitely played more aggressive throughout the series.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like you played a little bit. Sometimes played a little bit back, a little too far, and then I noticed that you kind of, I wouldn't say crept up, but you started your speed is kind of what set the tone for the entire series.
Absolutely, that was the one big thing that me and KG made a comment on at that first game was just how you played a little bit far back, but you definitely stepped it up there in that second game, and it definitely showed.
Yeah.
Uh,
We. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead. No, no, please, please, please.
Yeah, just overall though, I think that we definitely changed our mental mindset after game one because we knew what we were dealing with. Me and Cephas both decided just to play more aggressive, and we kind of just outspeed them. Well, outsped them, I should say, because we actually noticed that they were double committing a lot, and I called that out. So if we just get it past one, just boom it over the other, and we got it.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened too.
I saw a lot of those honest shots by Senfis, especially at that last game that ended up beating them, and they were not honest enough. They had to turn around, go back, and you caught them a few times, and that was a very smart move. And that's when I noticed that you guys were just a little bit faster. And I said that the team that slows down the first, is going to be the one that lost. And you guys really kept the foot on the pedal the entire time. So I think you guys did an excellent job. Please, Bearded, let's continue. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon that's all the questions that we got for y'all. Great job. I guess maybe the only question I have is who do y'all look forward to playing here coming up?
Oh, the Gators for sure. We got to get our redemption against the Gators.
Yeah, I definitely don't like the Gators. They beat us in the preseason, and they also beat us in the regular season, which I mean, it was also very winnable. So I mean, we know we could beat them.
Absolutely. Yeah, great job, Gators. They are coming for you, and if they play anything like they did in this first game, y'all better be ready.
All right, Bearded. I've got nothing else for the Hornets today. If you have anything else, I think it's probably a good time to say goodnight to everybody. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think that's going to be it. Great game, guys. Thank you, KG, for casting with me.
Oh,
As
pleasure's all
always,
mine.
for sure. And yeah, absolutely. We will see you next time in week 4. And yeah, good night, guys. We'll see you next time.
Heck yeah, thank you guys.